Well, I've managed to get myself in front of the screen, and hopefully, because I've got a huge TV picking up mirroring, hopefully I can actually see who's in the room. So if you're in the room ready to see what's going on, you will need your handheld weights. Once you've got your handheld weights, you can get yourselves ready in standing position and have a look at how else is coming in. I'm just going to go and make sure that I share this screen. There's slight changes as usual. Okay, that should make all the difference. All right, hello Diane, good to see you. Have you got your weighted balls or your cans of beans or your water? Because that's what we're using today. And hello Patricia. I'm looking to big screen so I can actually read, and yet I'm obviously filming through different screens. Using weights, we're doing that whole legs and upper body work. So as you wait for everyone else to come in and I wait with you, find yourself ready with space. I'm not using a chair or anything, although if you feel you need a chair, that's fine. We're just using standing load with weights. Hello Ellie. The weighted position is going to start in a standing perfect alignment shape. Hello Lindsay and Ken, good morning, good morning. Come on, roll up, get yourselves in here. It's only Wednesday, but we're halfway through yet another week. You're using weighted balls or you're using weights. You're using maybe bottles of water, maybe cans of beans. Whichever way, we're using the upper body more than you can imagine, but in a very precise way. I've chosen my lighter weights, partly because I've done nothing but prep, and then to carry it through will require me to keep it really accurate. Sarah, hello there. Start with your breathing. So while you're waiting for the preamble moment to keep going, and we wait for another few minutes to go, I've deliberately given you more time to set up and the time to kind of notice who is around. Maybe the weights can, while you wait, go by the sides of your thighs and have it so that your thighs are very parallel. You're breathing in and out as you wait for the session to officially start, but at least you're prepping. So the inhale and the exhale becomes more significant than you can imagine in this workout. I'm going to position myself ready. I do appreciate that I need to make sure I do start bang on 9:30, because then everyone gets to look in. I'm now in a position where I'm ready to go. Hello Jane, handheld weights here. I do like to know who's in the room. It just helps me work out the kind of visual for the people I'm teaching. Remember, if you've got a shoulder issue, and if during this workout of using the weight to find shoulder stability and trunk stability, if your shoulder starts to pinch or ache, then it's in the wrong place, okay? So be really aware of that you can't allow the shoulder to be an issue. You would let the weights go if that was happening. You're waiting for the rest of the group to activate. We're having our arms by the sides and the weighted balls are gently against the thighs. The inhale and exhale is allowing you to get the knees soft, the collarbones wide, and the back of the shoulder area, so the upper back, working hard. Hello, Margaret. Inhaling and exhaling then, you go into your little Zen moment of noticing exactly where the breath is. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, pull your shoulders up towards the ceiling, and exhale, press them away. Don't worry, we haven't really started. I'm just giving a little bit of an open moment for the inhaling, sliding the scapula up, pressing against the weighted balls and rolling down. Inhaling, up we go. And exhaling, so we've got Sandra and Tina back in the room, and Lorna. Lorna, we're just doing this whole shrug and release. Losing the tension where it doesn't belong and finding connection where it matters. If you're tuning in bit by bit, that's great. We're all enjoying this moment of just gently rolling up the back of the shoulder blades, slide upwards and slide down. Hello Lucy. Inhaling, shoulder shrug. Exhaling. I'm using, because I have a round ball connection, I'm using these weights to slide up and slide down. If you've got cans of beans or bottles of water, you can do the same. The other thing you can do is start to roll through the shoulder area. You're inhaling and flowing forwards and upwards, so the shoulder itself rolling through the sides of the rib cage, sides of the armpit, and the breathing muscles helping you maintain core stability. So leaving that there, then relax through the head, neck and shoulders, soften off at your knees everyone. Before we actually get into the use of the weights properly, we're going to take you into squats without no load through the weights. So the weight is going to press against your thigh, you find your squat and you stand up. Good morning, Sue. Breath in, your elbows go back. As your hips bend, your elbows bend, your knees bend, your ankles bend. So you're lowering down, inhaling. Hello, Catherine. And exhaling back up. Don't worry, people, if you're just managing to connect in, I've obviously started a tad ahead of the time, but all I'm doing is keeping the weight by the side as you tune into where your breathing muscles are and where your upper back is. On the breath in, you hinge at the hip, and the breathing out, pushing through the heels, you stand up. The collarbones are wide open. As you keep your shoulder blades as though they're trying to meet each other behind you with a muscle connection, and keep the breathing, you'll get the switch on of all the relevant postural muscles. As I continue doing this gentle warm-up of the squats, hinging at the hip, placing everything perfectly, my hamstring and glutes start to connect, but more importantly, the breathing makes sense. Keep this going as you squat and stand. Inhaling, I had a call then, exhaling and standing. Go down and stay. This is a little preparatory moment. Draw your shoulder blades towards each other, everyone breathe in and out. If you're just joining us, don't worry, find your squat, find your elbows bent, arms by your side. We're holding this position with the breathing muscles, and on the next breath out, the pelvic tilt, using pelvic floor, that gentle imprint, and the inhale back. This should feel light and stretching. No force through the lower back. Everything pelvic floor, internal oblique. Keeping the ankles from rolling in. Your upper back learning how to stay connected through shoulder blade to shoulder blade. And the next time you find yourself in your neutral pelvic position, push up to stand. All right, you're now ready for the start of using the weights properly. In other words, the weight has to find your shoulder stabilizers. I'm going to encourage you to have your feet no more than fist width apart unless you're massively unstable, and find pelvic floor, navel to spine, and the weighted balls are just pulling against the palm of the hand. The wrist is long. When I think about my weights and I keep my breathing going, the weights want to land behind the shoulder area, in the back of the upper arm and in the armpit. Your weights are facing the ceiling in the opening place, and on the breath out, you're going to turn the weights to face each other and they go forwards. Good morning, Kath. Inhaling, your elbows pull back, you turn the humeral head, and exhaling, you push forwards. Inhale, learning to breathe and find that upper body workout, and exhaling, push back. Now, my aim would be that you won't be clenching your backside, check. That you will be working with the ankles pulling towards the outsides of the feet, and you might feel in this standing against gravity position while you breathe that the hamstring starts to connect. The lower back is not tucking under to create a flattened lumbar area. You sway back, flat backed, lazy people. And hello, Leslie. Inhaling, the arms push forwards, exhaling, pull back. If you don't quite get the breathing connection here in terms of which breath you do it doesn't matter. It's more that you're learning to turn the upper arm muscle and bone within the shoulder joint. So as you rotate the balls to face each other, it's not you turning the balls from the hand, you're turning the balls from the upper back. Therefore, the shoulder doesn't have any pinchy points. Okay, now we add the squat to this. Inhale as you start to squat, rotate the arms within the joint and reverse back on the breath out. Inhaling, you find you hinge at the hip. Exhaling. When you're moving your arms then, if you can learn how to feel the upper back, pull your upper arms back, you will get the right action going on. But without the breath connecting your core, as in your trunk, you'll be working at a disadvantage. The way to ball and kind of arm position is to find its place into your big muscles in the upper back, and they're supported or underpinned by everything happening through the pelvic floor, the obliques, hamstrings and glutes. You've 2 more of your arms floating forwards as the inhale happens, and elbows pulling backwards through the upper back as the exhale happens to stand. This time then stay down, my arms are straight, so I stay with my heels and my outside of the foot. Exhaling, pull your elbows back and deepen the squat. Inhale, so we've got our inner range move, same action around the arms, and if you use your lines of your mat as a sense of what is or isn't happening, in other words, the weights must be equal in front of you, not too high, forwards reaching from the shoulder itself, not higher than the shoulder, inhaling and exhaling as you take that inner range work. Okay, the next time your arms are straight, stay. Make sure you're not gripping your lumbar spine. Inhaling, you're going to start circling the arms in one direction, and then exhaling in the other direction. All I want you to feel at this point is a real lightness. The weights don't want to feel dominant. It's the load landing behind the shoulder blade, in the rib cage oblique as you're in this squat position, and then we add one direction with a little bit of a kind of springy action with the legs. So the breath lengthened, 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 inhaling, and you're demonstrating, discovering your ability to move your arms within the shoulder joint that maintains stability, i.e. it's a neutral shoulder. Okay, this is the last time, keeping the thighs open, and then allow the opposite to happen. On the next breath out, allow your arms to drop. The mid-back muscles between the scapula stretch out, and the weights lead you down to the floor with the rib cage bend. Here we're going to do a quick stretch for the hamstrings. Breathe in. Breathe out. Don't tuck your bottom under. Pull your knees back. Inhale, bend the knees again. Breath out, pelvic floor navel to spine, rib cage hollow. Legs reach up and down. Your range of movement in the legs will be totally determined by the length of hamstring. Some of you will never get your legs straight in this position. It doesn't matter. It's that you feel this length of muscle here, lengthening equally both sides. Okay, people, finishing off with that, you're going to bring your weights to the side of the thighs again. Keep the head hanging. Breath out to pelvic roll. Use your pelvic floor. And reverse the journey of the spine back up to standing. Position 1 over and done with. Now find yourself into your turnout position or your plie. Find your shoulder stabilizers and have a slight softened knee area. You're better off having a bit of daylight than having really locked out knees. All right, weight is in the sides of the feet. And now the arm position starts here. Arms are forwards, you're breathing in and out. You know where your pelvis is, and inhale to open the arms, and breath out to draw up on pelvic floor and feel the rib cage come back. Inhaling, you open, you're growing tall. Breath out, don't round the back as your arms close the shoulder joint. Inhaling, you open. Imagine your upper back pushing your weights out sideways and flowing them forwards. Inhaling, crown of the head to the ceiling. My upper back, therefore, feeling everything between the shoulder blades. I'm cueing my middle rhomboid area, or mid-rhomboids, to shorten there and then lengthen here. Breathing. Draw up in pelvic floor, navel to spine. This slow motion arm action will wake up the stability. They're your rotator cuffs. The rotator cuff muscles that make up the shoulder to arm connection need to be happy. And the rib cage placement, therefore, has to be profoundly in place using the breathing muscles. Are you ready? We're going to take this to a squat. So you'll inhale, open the arms out, and exhaling, push the ground away, and you're back to where you were. Inhaling, feel the upper back work. Don't not throw the chin forwards. Breath out, follow your breathing cueing. Inhale, the weights, remember, wrist is strong, knuckles are pointing away, and the holding of the weight is not a grip or a grab, it's a connection, and that connection wants to find its way to your core, and in particular, wants to find its way between your shoulder blades, strengthening the upper back posture muscles that take away this slouch which COVID has emphasised. We're going to go down and stay. Staying here then, inhale, close. Exhale, open and inhale, close. Exhaling, shoulders, 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 not the front of the shoulder, and inhale, open and close. Now, inhale, lower a bit, exhale, push up a bit, inhale. So we've got a little bit more pace. You might want your inhaling to be one out and in, exhaling to be that open and close. Remember the rules. If this goes into your elbow or into your neck or into the front of your shoulder, it's totally contraindicated. Go down and stay. Staying down, this is the hardest thing you're going to do. You're going to circle and increase the end range movement of the plie squat, doing forward in one direction, freeze, and then you're going to circle, and on this move, the collarbones stay wide open, the chin stays drawn in, and you're reaching the upper back muscles into being. That sense of pushing against gravity behind you, and then allow that to be enough. Notice, that's how lightly I was holding the weights, notice the shoulders pulling away, so you end up with this kind of rounded, as the upper back muscles lengthen then. Exhale, let the weights lead you to the floor, still keep the plie leg position, head looks between your knees, breathe in, and ready for that, extend and bend. I can't emphasise enough, you need your pelvic floor to come upwards and inwards towards the navel, and the heels to press against the floor. You'll experience the rib cage melting, but the lumbar spine staying truly, at least in imprint, certainly not tucked under. Stay in your plie bent legs. Bring your hands back to the sides of your thighs, leave your heads hanging, and then breath out to pelvically roll from tailbone all the way up till you find yourself upright. Well done. And then this position here, we're going to go wide. Keep your breathing muscles going. Remember the width in your sumo squat is quite different to the narrow parallel position because you're in turnout. Get this squat going because we need the hip to feel right. Nearly fell over. So hinge at the hip and standing upright. Finding that trunk stability. Down you go and up. When we feel that we've eased into a bit more range of movement here, we're going to add some arms, and this will be the first kind of L shape we're going to do. So no, we're not using symmetry, we're looking for stability with asymmetry from limbs. Go down and stay, I think we're kind of there. So find not too deep nor too high. Have your arms forwards and let one arm be out to the side, breathe in. Exhale. Pull both arms together and go a bit deeper, hinging at the hip. It's a sumo squat, no backside tucked under. Inhaling and exhale up. Inhale down. And exhale, push your arm out sideways and ease up a bit. So I'm not completely standing. I'm keeping my shoulders drawn backwards. I get the sensation that my lats, that's the back of the bra area, are active. And as I press the ground away, I open one arm out. So that's the L shape. All right, we're going to add now a turn and look at that arm that goes out. So I'm looking at the ball, exhaling, look at the ball. I refuse to poke my head, chin forwards. I'm keeping my eye gaze so that the rotation that's happening in the cervical spine, and it'll happen beautifully if you can keep your upper back stability system, rib cage placement. Now, if you're struggling, just let your arm go without watching. The complexity of turning and watching demands that the rotation happens from a stable rib cage thoracic area and the upper back hasn't rounded. I've got that hinge position, the traditional Pilates squat, which is your posture basic squat, and then stay down, breathe. Inhaling one arm out, exhale back. Inhale the other arm out. Exhale back, deepen the squat. Inhale, remember you can turn and watch that arm. Exhaling, breathe. Arm out, arm back. Now, we go here and we're going to deepen. Keep looking forward. You've got L-shaped arms, one arm reaching. You're working through the hamstring glutes and stay. Return that arm, ready for your other side, and you're holding the shoulder blade area, your pelvic floor, pelvic core, obliques, hamstring glutes behind you, breathing, nothing collapsing, and then everyone deepen, let the weights go down, exhale, forwards nod and allow everything to stretch, lengthen back out through the upper back, lower back, and stretch your legs to straight. You're going to walk your feet in to about the width of the hands, pull the weights back to the knees, and breath out to pelvically roll the spine back up to stand. Final activity. On this next activity, you're going to do your star. So the single leg work I've chosen for today is here. You'll find your arms here, and you're going to squat and then have your balance. You're going to squat and have your balance. Learning to use the abductor. All right, so down and up. The purposeful balance moment matters. Inhaling, find your ground. Exhaling, find your balance. Working every muscle in the foot, the ankle stability, the knee stability, pelvic stability. You'll find that the weights can help you. I use the edge of a mat to make sure that I'm actually pulling both heels down into the same place and then pushing away from that place. Don't worry about being slightly wobbly. It's better that you can feel the ability to recover balance. Yeah, so that this moment here is ankles tuning into stabilising. If you lean into it, as in you're leaning like a star, you'll find your abductor sequence for that ball and socket joint working really well. Exhale. Inhaling. You can see how slowly I'm working with my form. Inhaling. What you experience is bit by bit, lots and lots of stabilisers in the ankle, the knee, particularly the side bottom, start to work and get involved. Our aim is single leg stabilisation with all the right muscles doing the right things. I can start to tune into my hamstrings, my side bottom. If you're tucking under, you won't get your hamstrings, and it'll feel as though it goes to the front of the hip. Stay. Shoulders, collarbones. The ball weights simply help me know where my distal end is. In other words, your hands, and they find your shoulders. Okay, let that be the last one. You can play with that. We're going to finish this session with your thigh stretch. If you're comfortable having your toes tucked under because you have no knee issues or rec fem issues, then have your knees tucked under. You'll know because it's painful if you need to have the feet flat like that. Whichever way, balls are by the sides of your thighs. We've done an awful lot of work. Find your pelvic neutral, breathe in, and then open through the shoulders and let the weights lead your upper back and weights to the heels. Inhale, exhale, and forwards again. Shoulder blades draw back, a gentle reach back, pelvic floor, navel to spine, leaning and returning. If you're lordotic, this is where you do a pelvic tilt to take it to neutral, and if you're a sway back, this is where you don't tuck your bottom under. All right, but you do draw up inside, pull the sensation of the hip bone to the ribs. You're not trying to pinch your glutes in. That isn't really the purpose of this. The purpose of this is to get the flexors beautifully lengthened after all the work you've done with them flexing and extending. All right, this is your last one. And voila, you have yet another leg workout with arms. The Weights, remember, are not meant to be your main event. They're a connection to your deeper stabilizers, particularly the rotator cuff, some of your smaller muscles around the shoulder. More importantly, those small areas here up into the shoulder need to feed off a good pelvic trunk stability system, which is your internal, external, transverse abs, all right, with glutes and hams. I say farewell, another workout done with another influence differently. If you're ready to tune into the next workout, hello Kay, you're actually going to be using a roller and we'll feed into the all fours position to upper backs without weights and finish off with some kind of lengthening modes. I'll say goodbye for now and I'll see you very soon.